Well, we didn't want to wait too long after the 12 hours of Canton to give you some more endurance racing. We're going to start a series of the Endurance Karting Championship Series here at K1 Speed Canton. Hi, everybody. My name is James. I got Adam alongside tonight.
Hello, hello.
And we have cameraman Drew back. So what more could you ask for?
Season 6.
Hanging out on a Sunday night. So we're going to start tonight with some qualifications, and then we're going to get into some racing tonight. We'll talk about some of the new stuff that we have in store for you guys. A lot of familiar drivers, a lot of returning drivers back to the series, and some old rules, established rules, and some new rules as well. So we'll get into that as the qualification runs. And the first thing you'll notice right away is that there's a time for the qualification run up on the top of your screen. We've got 7 drivers on track, and we started with an 8-minute qualifier. That is brand new. So instead of doing lap times, we're going to do it based upon total overall time, which means you have 8 minutes to set the fastest lap that you can. Now, it
also gives you a chance to swap your kart if you...
That's the big difference, yeah. So if you decide at some point that you don't want to qualify in that kart or it's not giving you what you need, you can come into the pits, complete a pit stop, get a different car, and go back out on track to set that fastest lap time.
Each driver does have 15 boosts.
15 boosts for about 3 seconds. That is enabled on every car tonight. As I try to get some of your onboard cameras for you, let's check out... is this Jeremiah, I believe we have on the first guy, if it's been updated. Jeremiah Wanko. Yeah, sitting down there in the number 18 machine. If you guys follow the 12 hours, you know that the onboard cameras had a little bit of new look to them. We're trying to continue that. Hopefully they continue to be successful tonight. As Alex Eckelberry, right at the top of your scoring pylon, immediately breaking into the sub 26 second mark.
Yeah, Jeremiah is new. He's been coming a lot more. He showed up for like a party, and then he was really interested, and now he comes weekly in races and practices. So this is his first time in endurance.
If these guys like the endurance series, we're going to have 7 rounds available to them. We're going to take you all the way through the summer months, June, July, and August, and that's going to then take us to another endurance race in September, which we'll be talking about before too long.
We have a special guest racing too. It's not Giovanni out there. It is his father, Nathan. He's wanting to do the endurance series this season. Giovanni's taking his time off for this season.
Yeah, if you want to pick up car number 28, that is Nathan Blackerby. Father to Giovanni. Giovanni is the current reigning world champion as far as the junior cars go. Maybe not for very much longer because national championships are coming up here at K1 Speed before too long, but that's his dad stepping into the driver's seat for this particular series. So, also names back, so we're familiar with Alex Eckelberry, Gavin Patterson. He was a team on the 12 hours, team DHB. He is now fastest on track, 25.6 so far. These guys are going to get a few more laps than what they normally get on our qualification runs. We may tighten up the time frame a little bit, but we wanted to make sure that on the first run of this timed qualification session, there was plenty of room and wiggle room to work with. And so far, that's working out for young Gavin Patterson from DHB Racing. I'm looking to see who we got on GoPro 2. Who's the...
blue helmet.
Is
that...
It looks like it's Gavin's helmet. I'm confused because it looks like he's wearing different
gloves.
Different gloves, yeah.
There is the DHB logo on it.
Yeah, but he is in kart 3, so yeah, we're on board with Gavin Patterson right now. So, if you guys are in the chat tonight, we welcome your comments. We'll make sure or try to get them on screen for you. Otherwise, we hope you enjoy hanging out with us on a Sunday night, watching a little bit of racing.
American Idol's on tonight.
Is it? Yep. What round are we on now?
I think 4th auditions.
Moving quickly, yeah. Dave Patterson down there in the number 13. He's in the 4th spot. That is Gavin, who you're riding along with. That's his dad, so father-son combination. These guys took 1st and 2nd positions in the rookie standings last round or last season. I keep getting season and round confused. It was a season of endurance racing where he finished 1st and 2nd. Alex Eckelberry to the top, 25.4, making that boost button work. These guys have 15 of those presses.
I don't think we've seen anybody swap a kart yet, have we?
No, we haven't. Which is a good thing. We kind of don't want them to.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know some people would go out there and use 15 of their boosts and then hop in another one and try it that way.
Oh, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
We'll cut that out.
If you use too much boost around this track, it actually hurts you. So
it does, yeah.
There, Gavin jumping back to the top. He's now into the 25.3s.
25.3.
Those are some of the times we saw during the 12 hours 2 weeks ago. If you guys were part of the 12 hours, or if you watched it, let us know. Hit the thumbs up on the video and let us know that you were watching all 12 hours of this
Somebody's
crazy endurance
sitting
racing.
back there in the pits, towards the back end of the pit, it looked like.
We'll watch and see as Gavin goes across the timing line. Doesn't improve on that one. That one's a slower round. How many laps do they have so far? Oh, these guys have already 12 laps. Okay, so we're already in territory of a normal arrive and drive race at K1. But the time or the laps are going to end as soon as the time expires. So there's no flying laps in this session. We'll have 3 qualification sessions. Then we'll sort these guys fastest to slowest. We'll have an A main and a B main tonight. Looks like about, what, 11 and 10 maybe?
That's what it should be, yes. 7, 14, and then 20.
20.
So 10 and 10.
10 and 10, 20 drivers on offer tonight?
Yep.
Okay, so our qualifications will be, what, 7, 7, and
6.
8, 6? We may find out that this is just almost too much time for these guys, but
It might be.
we're going to wear them out before they get to
They're at
run their
13,
half-hour race.
Yeah. 13 laps. He's coming up on 14.
See if anybody has room to improve on a 25.392 by Gavin as he goes across the line one more time. Nope, 25.6 on that one. A lot of variability in that time, but
All these times are pretty close. Everybody's into 25 except 2 of them.
Yep.
Oh, they're all of them except 1 now.
Xander Carson jumping up there, the 25.8. That's a good time for him. He just swapped with Nathan Blackerby. And then we'll see how this times out. So 40 seconds. That's going to give those guys one more lap. In fact, who comes across the line here? Drew, if you want to zoom in on this.
That's Xander. I'm pretty sure, yes.
Yep, Xander. So Xander...
So at the 30-second mark.
Yeah, he's probably going to be pretty close, but I think he can make another lap out of it. Originally slated to be a 7-minute qualifying time. Wanted to give an extra minute, so that rule
Gavin with
may
the
get refined.
25.3, his fastest time and the fastest of the day so far.
3.83, right?
3.83,
so that's what he improved on his 25.3. Checkered flag will wave.
Yep, and that's all done.
That's it. So there's your top 3 for your first qualification round. Gavin Patterson, Alex Eckelberry, and Dave Patterson. Almost the results that we left off with at the end of Season 5.
Tristan McCauley with the 25.5.
But yeah, I was just going to look.
good.
I was just looking at his time. Like, there's not a huge gap there.
Yeah.
25.516 and a 5.76.
I know he hasn't really been racing here that much. This next one we're going to have Anthony, Joseph, Joey, Tyler, Sean, Grant, Adam, and Jason. Anthony's definitely what? Is he one of the fastest ones, you'd say? I think
Well,
Anthony, Joey, Tyler.
He stands a chance, yeah.
It'd be nice to see what Grant could do. This is his first actual event with us.
Cameraman Drew is telling us that our audio is quiet, so let me see if we can do something here, guys.
How do I sound? That might be too loud.
Well,
Sounds good.
if you need to adjust yours, you can. All right. Let's try that, Drew, because now we're showing what we hopefully is a good audio level. So there's Gavin and Dave standing there looking at their times on the timing board. Oh, okay. Sorry, cameraman Drew was saying it's in the headsets. Well, we can bump up that a little bit.
Yeah,
so
that's what he said.
all right,
We can turn it all the way up.
We won't blast you guys at home then.
Good, clean first qualifier.
Yeah, very impressed with the spacing that all the drivers gave them. Didn't have a lot of bunching up. That's one of the reasons we set out the 7 drivers at a time.
everybody can get as good amount as clean laps as you can.
We just saw Nathan in the bottom of the shot there. Nathan and Jeremiah, I would imagine, is probably the first time they've ever run boost before.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had...
Not in previous endurance, and I think a lot of these...
Yeah, because boost is brand new to the whole endurance series anyway, so...
Yeah. You also just got to hit it in the right spot, especially on the standard direction.
So in this second qualifier, we'll have Anthony Narofsky, Joey Valentine, Tyler Stevenson. Those top 3 drivers all finishing their 12 hours of Canton here a little over a week ago. And they all have blisters on their hands to show for it. Then we got Sean Horrigan returning to this endurance series. Grant Oser to his first time. Adam Hoops back in the saddle, as well as Jason Blaine. At least that first 30 seconds is knocked away pretty quick because they have their outlap basically. So
Yeah.
they would still probably do okay with 7, maybe even 6 minutes. Because it takes an average arrive and drive race about what, a little over 6 minutes to run if it's running cleanly and at the full speed. So
Yeah. Anthony's starting out with a 25.8 on his first lap. Joey's starting out. Ooh, Joey and Tyler 25.6 and then 25.68, 25.63.
pretty much the cold.
That's their
cold
first
laps.
lap.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a 24.
No.
There were some in the 12 hours.
Yeah, but that you have to just run to that extreme.
Yeah, those carts were out there
It's got to be
for a long time.
multiple laps. I mean, these guys are running 100 laps at a time. Tires got to be
The line,
the track
too,
has
was
got to be
just-
warm. All that stuff. Yeah, it's ideal. So you're following number 8 of Tyler Stevenson, who has a camera, but they didn't turn it on for us. So yeah, no onboard. Sorry. We'll follow him in the blue helmet. Tyler Stevenson was part of Team Superfly, and I'm sure David Pons is going to be watching our live stream at some point. So they overcame some adversity during the 12 hours. Not the result that they wanted, but
Hopefully they had fun.
Yeah, hopefully they all had fun. Tyler's going to warm up the tires a little bit, scrub them back in turn 5. Track is going to run in normal direction tonight. We'll get around to doing different things throughout the season. Obviously, it will run in reverse at some point.
The outdoor should be open too sometime soon.
Who knows? By next month? Probably.
Hopefully.
Maybe, kind of. We'll see.
If it's not, we can just blame Owen.
All right, and there's Anthony going to the top, 25.6. But, 25.383 is your time that you're looking to beat for pole position.
Yeah, and Alex in second with a 25.43.
Who are you going to follow, Drew? Who do you want to watch instead of just like an overhead shot? Oh, Drew.
Where's Anthony on the track?
Hello, can you hear me?
Well, are you on the handheld?
Hello, yes.
Oh, okay.
We cannot hear you in the headsets whatsoever.
Not
Yeah,
oh.
so I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm not purposely ignoring you. We just having a little difficulty hearing you guys on the stream.
Is it just really quiet?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me see what I can do about it.
Doing the best I can to squeeze the speaker into my ear so I can.
How about
hear you
this?
whisper.
Does that help at all?
No.
No?
No different.
No? Okay, so
Yeah.
that's just the headset
All
up
the
here.
guys down
so.
on the track are in the same situation.
Let's follow Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson now fastest lap, 25.319.
Well, he was hearing us perfectly fine there.
Well, that's true. So we'll follow along with Tyler Stevenson. Yeah, it took me a lap to figure that out because he's already done a 3.73. He's kind of backed it up. Alex Eckelberry, who was second in the last qualification round, he was a 25.43. Joey Valentine, 25.222, fastest lap so
Wow.
far.
And then Tyler would be in second.
Yeah, so far. He's bested Gavin's time so far.
Sean Horgan, 25.5. It's nice to see Sean back.
All right, so let's go to this shot because it looks like Anthony Dorofsky is actually going to do a kart swap. He'll be the first one to take us up on this offer. He's going to jump over to the car number 35.
He does not need to wait for his timer to expire.
He doesn't, no.
You just send him.
As long as the pit crew are ready for that car number, then he's good. All right, so we'll follow him in the white helmet in the number 35. So here we go. This is our first test on the kart swap.
Now you have to sit here and warm up the tires again.
Yeah,
I just don't know how I feel about it because now he's only going to get a couple laps.
Well, but that's his choice. That's the cool thing about this. You know, if it takes a good 2 laps to get him warmed up, he's obviously got enough time, but he's got to be setting that heater lap at the very end. Keep an eye on him now driving the number 35. I think an 84.5 second lap time would be good, right? This driver right here, he won the last round of the Endurance Series and then followed it up with a pole position for the 12 Hours of Canton. DHB not able to hold on to the number 1 spot at the very end, but qualification on that supercharged kart, car number 1, put that team in the front running with all the young kids to run in the 12 Hours of Canton here a couple weeks ago. All right, let's see as he goes by this time. Does he improve at all? Still 25.7.
Tyler with 25.19.
That is.
So he just upped Joey there, didn't he?
Yeah, we kind of missed that, I think, with maybe Anthony swapping karts. So Tyler Stevenson with 25.196 on the board. We'll pretend like we just saw it. You drove with boost with these cars.
I did.
Where did you boost?
Right out of the carousel.
And?
I won.
End of story, huh?
Yes. End of story. It was like right there on Tyler is where I would boost, and it's just enough to get you to the finish line, and then slows you down enough before you turn. Because if you have too much boost, you're just going to carry through one. Didn't you find
that it was just really hard to brake in turn 1?
No, because you would slow down enough.
Okay.
Where I hit it, it was just like perfect timing. I don't know.
So we'll keep an eye on the number 35 again. Anthony Narofsky is going to run really wide line here. Nope, sorry. He's going to run into the carousel. Okay, so he's going to have one last shot on this. He's got clear track space.
25.4 is last time. He does have probably about one more lap.
Bumped up a little bit.
25.312.
Besting Sean Horgan. But let's see what he has on his last flying lap. Everybody who's on track now, it's going to be one last opportunity. I almost feel bad. It's going to be so many laps for these guys tonight, but it is what it is.
I don't think they're complaining.
Yeah, 16 laps on the board so far.
Here he comes.
Sean Horgan's already going to pit that car because he's done. Anthony crosses the line. No improvement. 25.5. So Tyler Stevenson setting the gauntlet here. 25.196.
So it's going to go Tyler, Joey, Anthony, and then I think Gavin.
Joey's time, even though it's a 25.2, it's still a separation of 0.026 seconds. There are those two guys right there.
Always wearing blue.
It's going to be interesting to watch them run this race.
He did say his favorite color was blue.
Absolutely.
We got to buy him some blue pants.
Well, he has those sometimes.
He's got blue shoes, gloves, helmet,
yep,
sweatshirt. Joey's probably favorite color is blue too. He's got blue shoes and a shirt.
So the kart swap may have helped Anthony a little bit. It did bump him up.
It did. Maybe if he got a couple more laps, he was going to be able to get up there.
And there's Grant there in the black and is it yellow? I have to stop and think when I say black or yellow and orange. But Grant doing a 25.6, that's a good lap time. These guys don't get to run boost all the time, so when they do get to run it, it can be some unfamiliar territory sometime. He must have handled it pretty well. So where's our third qualifier? Are they ready to go?
Yes, we have Jensen, Mark, Ethan, PJ, Joshua, and Mitch. Jensen was part of DHB for the 12 hours, and PJ was on the Porsche Beechwood for the 12 hours.
Cool. Oh, hey, we're gonna get an onboard.
Who?
Hopefully they'll. I think Jacob's working on the name for us. So
That looks like Jensen.
yeah.
We just need to have people put their name right on their top of their helmet.
Well, but then sometimes our camera doesn't aim right, so you can't always see it. And
Katie is in the chat. She says she's watching from Kentucky.
Katie, we knew you were going to miss the race because you're out of town, but glad you tuned in. Katie, we used your with some footage of you during the drivers' meeting. It was all good things.
It wasn't bad.
It was all good things.
Well, people were doing bad things.
Yeah. Bad moves and stuff, but she was the one getting hit, unfortunately. So, Katie, you're a hero. You're a star now. All right, third qualification round underway, and then we'll get back to the 30-minute position-based racing.
Have all these guys raced endurance before? No, I don't really know Mitch's name. Mitch?
Yeah, I don't think Mitch Gillespie has. Joshua Jackson has.
Familiar.
Yep.
And then Ethan runs teen league, and he's ran endurance. Ethan's been pretty quick in the teen leagues recently.
Yeah. Ethan's been practicing a lot.
Yes.
That's the key. As he goes across the start-finish line there, Drew, you'll see him in the number 25. Of course, maybe Drew can't hear us. I don't know, but... All right, so we'll check on board with this guy here, Jensen fresh
Jim.
off the 12 hours. Him and Gavin have matching gloves? Is that where they are? I mean, they look pretty similar.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if their team got like team gloves or something for the...
Maybe. I don't know.
I know I saw Giovanni out there, so he'll be cheering on his friends.
We're going to watch his right-hand side of the steering wheel. The yellow button there is the boost.
See where he's boosting out of. This is a good view.
And
like right here, I would boost. Maybe he doesn't know the boost is.
Yeah. So drivers have been notorious for forgetting. It's just ingrained in them that it doesn't work, and therefore they come to this race and they forget to press it. But
has Jensen has not ran the endurance before. This will be his first go around.
He's run endurance before. Yeah, I think he ran one other race.
But not with the boost?
There we go. Now he pressed it.
Okay.
All right, so he does remember it.
Maybe his mom is listening to the stream and told him.
Maybe.
Through the headset.
Hey, press the boost. Since we're on board with him, let's take you through a lap of K1 Speed Canton. This is the back portion of the track. As Jensen went to the top on that last lap, 25.8. All right, here's your front straightaway. It's really short. Hairpin into turn 1. You want to hug the right-hand side of the entrance to turn number 2 there. Again, it's mid-track into 3. Making sure you don't run all the way out to the outside barriers as you kink through 4. Running back to the garage doors where the outdoor will open here shortly. Then back into 6, and then the carousel 7. You want to hug this nice and tight. Then turns 7 and 8 technically, but they're just a little bit of deviations. So as he slid the car sideways a little bit in turn 1, car a little bit loose on him. I'll point out something as he comes around the next time to the carousel. And this is really important for those who are trying to improve their lap times and those who are coming for GPs, whatever. Look, yeah. Look at that line right there.
Yep.
Look how close he's got all that track space to the left-hand side. It just doesn't get used because you don't need it.
You got Mark Davis with a 25.882, fastest time in this qualifier.
I think this is going to be the key for Jensen because traditionally he does have the pace, but he's got to use boost.
And you just got to figure out what works best for you and where to use it. You don't want to use it too much because it will mess you up on some of the turns.
That's an improvement, 25.6.
Mark with a improvement of himself is a 25.81. Nobody else is in the 25s yet. There's Ethan into the 25s with a 25.963.
As you follow overhead with Mark Davis, the number 1 machine. I'm sure he's got people in the chat following along. So
some people were asking for a camera on Mark.
Did you get the The chance
nothing's
yet?
popped up yet.
All right, I'll have to see if I can get that up for you. And then hopefully we can have a pretty quick turnaround time to sort these guys into the B main and the A main. We'll have the B main first. The 25.418 for Jensen right now, tentatively 4.1s looks like it might slot him into about 6th position right now. That's how close these times are so far.
And then somebody did ask, his teen league on April 1st earlier? Yes, it is April 1st. And it's not April Fool's.
Yeah, the calendar's pretty consistent this year, with the exception of like September, that it is the first Tuesday. Even the week of July 4th, I think it still remains on the first Tuesday of the month. We'll watch Jensen come around to the front. Does he have any time to improve? No.
Oh, he's at 25.41.
Yep.
PJ got into the 25s with the 25.90.
Go back on board with Jensen for a minute here. Oh, he had his finger over, or his thumb over the boost button. Now he's going to press it.
Yeah, he's pressing it now. That's a good spot.
Yeah.
You can even see kind of with the GoPro that it does pick up the speed of it.
Yeah, it does look faster in the front straight. This is a lot of racing for these guys. We're going to have to cut this endurance, this qualification shorter next time.
They're getting 16 so laps more.
Yeah. We used to give them 7.
7, yeah. You just get out there and go. Then they got double of that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't complain, though. Gives them time to put down a good lap.
Yeah, and especially
he
for
keeps
those
messing up in that first turn. That might be his boost. He might be boosting too late.
Well, that was my thought when you said you boost down the front straightaway, because when you go to hit the brakes and you're carrying so much more speed, it feels way different.
Yeah, you just gotta like hit it. If you hit it earlier enough around the carousel, it should cut out before then.
It's about a 3-second shot. Now it doesn't pin you back in the seat, I always say, but you can definitely tell.
You can make it seem like it does.
Yeah, it doesn't. It gives you 15% more battery power than traditional Speed 4. But it's only for 3 seconds, so. Follow overhead with number 29. We haven't touched on PJ Manipenny. He's knocking out a 25.8 so far, his best lap time. Looks like he'll have about 2 more laps to go.
Everybody's pretty close.
Good competitive times, yeah.
25.826. That's his best time.
Yep.
Ethan is slowly chopping down his time with 25.78. Pretty close to Mark there.
Yeah, it's too bad because I think our onboard actually is with PJ. It's just not turned on, so PJ's going to be really close. He hit the timing line at about 24 seconds remaining, so I'm pretty sure he'll complete the lap, but we'll see if it triggers any times. Mark Davis still the number 2 in this particular qualifier with the 25.7. Yep. Oh, that'll cut short on PJ. That last lap not counting, so.
He's like a second off right there.
Checkered flag.
You know what they always say. That was my fastest lap.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you guys slowed us down on my fastest lap. Yeah. Great job to
So that should put Jensen in 5th for the main. Mark should be making maybe I don't know. It's going to be too close. I don't think Mark will be making
How about we just advance it for them? See if it works.
Did you already do it?
No, I didn't. You go ahead.
Oh, they must have.
Did they?
Yep. Looks about right, yes. So Mark will be leading off the B main in front, followed by Ethan and PJ. And then we'll get to the A main another time.
Yeah. So your top qualifier tonight, Tyler Stevenson, followed by Joey Valentine, and Anthony Narofsky, your top 3. That'll be your A main tonight.
Grant just made the cut.
Oh, is he in the A main?
He is in the A main.
Hey, good job, Grant.
That's all he really wanted to do is make the A main. He was scared he was going to be put into the B main.
He'll be right there behind Tristan McCauley.
And how does the point system work with this? This is out of 30?
25 to the winner. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter so much if you're in the A main or B main. Correct?
I mean, the B main does maximize the number of points you can get out of the night. Yes.
Yeah, because
you can't bump up, but yeah.
Gotta just work on your qualifier times. That's big, and especially like our teen league and junior and adult leagues. Yeah, a lot of it's just qualifying. You just want to put the fastest qualifying time down.
And they are without excuse with the number of laps they had tonight. So Anthony, the only guy taking us up on the kart swap, and it'd be interesting to see. Oh, we gonna interview Grant? All right, cool. Might as well. Grant, you made it to the A main.
I did.
So how'd it go?
It was all right. I didn't think that I was going to make it to the A main, if I'm being honest with you. I thought I was going to be, in the B for my first time.
Where were you boosting out of?
Just the carousel, the last turn.
Did you think it affected you at all in turn 1?
A little bit, yeah. For a couple of laps. I think I used it a little bit too late, and then I'd spin out the back a little bit.
Yeah. It's the only issue. If you just boost a little too late out of that turn, you're going to spin a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely happened to me a couple of times.
It's definitely the easiest way to break into the 25 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
So are you kind of experiencing the boost for the first time, or have you run it before?
No, this is my first time with boost.
So when you hit it tonight, what did it feel like? Just describe that. Was it? I could definitely feel the increase in speed. I mean, it wasn't like tremendous where it pushes my head back, but I could definitely feel the speed. Okay. And then did you have any problems braking after?
I mean, other than using it too late, no.
Yeah, okay. Well, good. So now you get to sit there and watch the B main.
Yeah.
Who are you going to be rooting for?
I don't know yet. I'll have to see who's in there first and then make my mind up from then.
We got Mark Davis, Ethan Hoops, PJ, Xander, Nathan Blackerby, Mitch Gillespie, Jeremy, Joshua, Adam, Jason. Any of those favorites?
Yeah, I think I'm going to probably go with Xander. He's
Xander starting in 4th. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good luck. We'll talk to you a little bit later.
Thank you, guys.
The cutoff for the main race, is that right?
Yeah.
That would have been a 25.60. It's pretty good. If that's
so everybody in the A main is sub 25 or sub 26.
Yes.
Yeah, you said 26.0.
25.60.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Grant's time was a 25.60.
Yeah, I should have figured that.
So that's pretty good. And if he was 10th, it's impressive. And then Mark's time was a 25.78, and he will lead the B main.
All right, so hopefully we get these drivers in their cars so we can start that B main right away. We know that Owen is on top of that right now.
I think they're picking their cart numbers.
Okay. This is the real reason everybody tunes in.
I think we should just put a GoPro on his head.
Yeah, we should.
Or like on his chest.
We should.
Just follow him around. Hopefully they're spinning the wheel as of now.
Yeah, somebody. Well, we'll bring it back up here. So, all right. So you had a couple weeks to think about the 12 hours. What do you think?
Couple weeks.
I mean, almost 2 weeks. No,
It's been like
it's been 10 days. It's been 10
9
days.
days.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So What'd you think?
Texted Noah to tell him let's go.
Oh, okay.
He's reading and he's sitting there on his phone, probably texting me back right now.
Saying, yeah, we're working on it. Because they should have a whole
12
row
hours.
charged, so it should be good to go. Like, yeah.
$12 I thought went it went pretty good.
Good competition this year.
It was.
Running it for the third year, it really seemed like the competition stiffened up.
I definitely did not expect it to be like that, but it definitely did. There was probably about like 5 good teams that were really almost on the lead lap the entire race.
Right, yeah. Oh, are we going to get her interview now? Okay.
Thought she wanted to come up in the booth.
Well, I guess if she wants to interview here.
Who is this again?
This is, yeah. This is Ryan Davis. Ryan, can you hear us okay? Ryan, can you hear us okay?
A little bit.
Okay. Hey, so we want to take a minute to interview you because you are the current leading points person in the junior K1 Speed Championship here at Canton, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So, and who's second, by the way?
I think Josephine.
It is. So it's you and Josephine leading the points. Now, last year you started right around March, so you're right around 1 year of experience, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you decided that you were going to lock into the junior championship and tell us a little bit about your experience.
Okay.
No, you tell us.
Okay.
Don't you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, Adam, I do.
What's it called?
What is it? You tell me.
Do you want our viewers to follow you or anything? I don't know it off the top of my head.
I don't either.
It's K1 Racer Girl, right?
Yeah.
And your brother's K1 Racer.
Yeah.
Guy?
Yeah. So you can pretty much watch every practice qualifying session you guys have, right?
Yeah, basically.
What's the biggest challenge of driving the junior cars?
Bumping and like the final
From other drivers?
from me.
Oh, you're the bumper?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Blake is the bumper here.
Oh, you calling out names, huh?
Yeah.
Don't mind these people walking in front of the shot. It's fine. What do you think your hopes for the season are?
To go to California.
All right, so you're going to win it all, and you're going to take
Be
on
the next Giovanni.
Yeah, the next Giovanni. Which, speaking of which,
You can see him running around the back.
I've heard you got some coaching.
Yeah, from a lot of people.
Which one's the best? Who's your favorite?
Savannah
Oh, okay.
and Gio. I have 2.
Okay, Gio's pretty good.
Yeah.
What kind
Savannah
of
and Gio.
what kind of recommendations does he give you as a junior driver?
To pass cleaner because I like to shove people into barriers.
And we don't like that. No.
No, not anymore.
What about the racing line? What kind of tips and tricks can you give to somebody?
You lift at 2 and put your foot back down on the pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the rest of the way? Until
You
turn
don't
1?
lift. You only lift on 2.
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, Adam.
You don't lift on 1?
No.
No, I don't lift
No.
on 1.
What, is that what you were coaching Blake today? Was lifting in 1?
I only lift in 2.
Oh. Yeah, otherwise the juniors have a lot of grip to them, right?
Yeah.
And they kick out sideways pretty easily because it's really easy to oversteer them.
I can't hear you.
Oh, is it really easy to oversteer them?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Any other notes for your viewers or your family?
Hi.
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 All right, Ryan Davis, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the live stream.
Bye, my gang.
She asked, we provided. As we get set to do the B main, everyone is casually driving over or walking over. Hey, you're supposed to be helping.
Yes, I'm trying to read the comments.
Oh,
This isn't working still. There is somebody asking to interview Jason Blaine. I think Jason's in this one. This next. Yeah, he's in this next final that's about to go out. Make sure you plug it in and then hit the power button on the left side.
There we go. I heard something.
This final will be a 30-minute race. They will have to pit once. When they pull into their pit, the timer will start. They'll have 55 seconds to hop out of their cart, hop in a new one, drive up to that blue taped line at the front of the pits, and then wait for their timer on the TV to hit 0, and then they will enter back into the race.
Oh, hopefully they were watching the timer to make sure that they were triggered as they came in. I wasn't watching it.
Hopefully.
Oh, I forgot to set up our overlay. Pit timer. Because hopefully we're going to be able to tell when everybody comes in.
They do a standing start. They go on the green lights that are on the track. Hopefully they are going to be turned to yellow. There we go.
That's our polite way of telling the track workers to remember to do.
Yeah, we see that, Drew. They are yellow.
You don't even really get a full warm-up lap, so we're going to have them grid up right away.
Which it does. I like that because you will start with some slower, colder tires.
Yeah, it's a big challenge.
There's Ryan's brother, Mark. He is starting on pole for the B main.
Familiar territory for him. I wanted to say that he started on the pole 2 rounds ago.
I thought he was an A main last round. He was an A main.
Yeah, but I do remember him sitting in the front of the B main at one point.
Nathan is in 5th place, and then we got it goes Mark, Ethan, PJ, Xander, Nathan, Mitch.
Oh, jeez.
Jeremiah, Joshua, Adam, and Jason.
Hopefully he's okay. That's
A lot of people don't realize that these carts are on full speed.
He's good.
He's
Thanks,
very
Michael.
flexible.
Thanks, Michael. I don't know if this is going to be the right colors or not, but let's try it.
We do have, I feel like, a couple new racers as they're having trouble lining up on the grid.
Yeah, no kidding.
They all just kind of start going and think the race is going, and make sure everybody's pulled up to the front line.
Wonder. I think we'll keep an eye out on this timer here to see when somebody comes in.
Is that where it's going to pop up?
Yeah, so we added this last time around. So at the back or the entrance to the pits, there is a timing line that's going to trigger the start of their timer. So back there in the back where the black curtains are, it's going to be 55 seconds this week because we're back in normal direction. Right there on the center of the screen there. When they come around, they're going to park in one of the lanes, and then they're going to move over to the other lane, and then they can't leave the pits until that timer has expired. They should have about an extra 5 seconds on the timer tonight, more than what they normally would have. But
it just gives you enough time to get your seatbelts completely tightened, your cart to be turned on. You can even move up to the front of the pit to make sure your cart is going, because some people don't turn on their cart right away, and then they're sitting there smacking the gas pedal, and they're wondering why their cart's not moving, but it's because you have to wait a couple seconds after you turn the cart on.
It's to try to even up the pit stops and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to run, the same pit stops as everybody, so they're not disadvantaged for whatever reason.
And pitting actually brings it's like a strategy. If you can time it out, or when you pit, if you want to pit earlier or later, it leaves most of the race, most of the competition is on the track and not so much in the pits.
Exactly. We'll have an onboard with number 21, Nathan Blackerby, and then the guy right in front of him, Xander Carson, has an onboard as well. We'll have those two shots for you tonight. So if you guys are following along, hopefully you enjoy those. And a familiar helmet up in front of Xander, and that is PJ Manipenny in the number 13. So our man on the replay tonight is Adam.
Well, I'm going to try.
If we see any pertinent action, he'll be the first to bring it to us.
What does this mean?
That's your replay spot.
Well, I didn't know why it's already selected like that.
Scoreboard should pop up right at the last second because it's going to run based on a timer. Right as they hit the green lights. Another name that we haven't talked about so much tonight, but hopefully we won't be hearing too much from, is Armand Deligny. So he's jumped out of the driver's seat and he's becoming the track marshal for us tonight. Going to lay down the law for anybody who wants to make some bad moves. So
he will.
See, we know his headset's working, Drew. You have no problem.
And, yeah, Grant heard us perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, well, that's a lie because once the carts start going, we cannot hear jack squat.
Oh.
So
well, check your volume on the right-hand side of the headset.
all of our volumes are super high. And then when the music started at the beginning of the stream.
And they're off.
There they go.
Season 6 of the Endurance
Mark
Karting
got a really
Championship
good jump
Series.
out there on turn 1.
Round number 1. Yeah, Mark Davis, great start over Ethan Hoops and PJ Manipenny following closely behind. We'll follow on board with the number 21, Nathan Blackerby, to see this action as the front, as Mark jumps out, and then the next 3 are all grouped together. In fact, we'll go up one more car length to Xander to see the battle between Ethan and PJ on the cold tires.
PJ's trying to do the up and under. Looks like Ethan's going to kind of give him some space there.
Yep, but then that's
going to mess you up, and then Xander's able to capitalize and get past him as well.
But it was a decent move because Ethan was just having a difficult time on the cold tires, and now Xander's going to bear down on the number 13, PJ Manipenny.
Mark really got a good jump. He's
yeah,
out
he did.
There. He's running a 26.2 for right now, and it looks like everybody else might be in the 27s off after the first lap.
So this will leave Ethan in the scope of Nathan Blackerby and the number 21. But that's to be expected with cold tires. I mean, that's just the way things go when the car's been sitting and you don't have a lot of rear grip. So as things get warmed up, we'll probably see some close competition here as we'll jump back up on board with Xander Carson, who's now side by side into turn number 2 of PJ Manipenny. PJ making decisive action there. He's trying to make sure Mark Davis doesn't lose ground to him. It was already 1.6 seconds on that last lap by. So check overhead real quick to see where everybody else is gapping out. You got a pack of 2, a pack of 3, another pack of 2, another pack of 3. So, and then Drew, just don't forget to pan to the left there for us so that we don't miss turn 1. I just really like this action on Xander's GoPro just because we're watching the back of PJ so much. So
yeah, he keeps catching up right onto PJ. PJ's the veteran in the endurance racing. He's probably racing every single one we've had.
Just about. I don't know of one or more than one that he's missed.
Him and Katie were pretty much tied, and I think he just passed Katie today.
Yeah, Katie, you broke your participation streak. We're gonna have to take away your ribbon.
Looks like PJ's got a little bit of a gap now.
For anyone who's new to this kind of driving, you have to keep in mind, like, these are go-karts, but they're very physically demanding. Even though we're running 30 minutes today, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you come out and drive these cars, you'll probably quickly realize how physically demanding it is to drive, 65, 80 laps in these cars.
Yeah. When I ran the endurance race, it really is. It hurts your hands and like your arms if you don't constantly drive the carts all the time. You will end up tired.
There's no power steering. It is very manual, and the cars are somewhat heavy. You've got a good 180 pounds of batteries on both sides of the cars, 81 amp hours delivering. We saw teams of the 12 hours doing over 100 laps on one battery stint this year.
That's insane.
It was about a 20 to 25 lap addition to what we saw last year in the 12 hours, where teams were constantly battling with heat and the cutting out of the low voltage battery cells.
Katie did say that PJ has not missed one yet.
Oh, he hasn't. Okay.
Pretty impressive.
It is. Mark Davis now pulling out a over 2-second lead on the rest of the field with PJ. So we jump back on board with Xander Carson.
Mark really is scooting. He's doing really good right now.
This will be good for Mark to put his head down, get some clean laps in. Sometimes he gets caught in traffic during these races, getting caught in the middle or the back of the field, and tonight he's got something different to contend with.
Looks like there's some bumping going on. There was some in the back. Turn 5.
You got a replay for us?
I can try.
This is Adam's first test. PJ Mannypenny with purple at 25.6. If he keeps up that pace, he will quickly catch Mark Davis. But he does have 2 seconds to work with. We'll follow PJ on this lap as he kind of look at the steering input and the G-forces that it exerts on an indoor track, trying to keep that car pinpoint accurate as you go through the barriers. You don't have a lot of runoff space. In fact, you don't have any runoff space. You can't just run wide. If you do, it's going to land you into a barrier. Hugging that carousel nice and close. Front straightaway speed. And that'll be purple, 25.5. Now, there are 2 bonus points on offer for the fastest lap of the race. That will be between the A main and the B main. So just keep that in mind. Any drivers who are back here in the field, they're still looking for the fastest lap of the race because there's still an added benefit to doing that. And when you consider that there's only 1 point between the two, between each position on your finalist positions, 2 points could have a significant advantage to you on the season when it comes down to the end of the championship.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not gonna. I don't know where it went.
Just make sure it's closer to live over here. You don't want to be over here. That's old.
Yeah, I'm over here, right?
Yeah, that's
where
all
this
over
red
here.
thing is.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is on-the-job training for Adam here, who's learning the replay system.
We'll get something good.
Yeah.
Everything's been pretty clean, though, so.
Yeah, eventually. If we could just get Drew to turn his headset up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what else to feed Drew, so.
Nobody's pit yet. When do you think the first person's going to pit? When would you pit? Would you pit earlier or later?
If the race continued at this pace, I would pit as late as possible. Personally, especially if I'm Mark and I'm out and I've got a 2-second lead over PJ.
And you're not really on anybody's back yet.
Yeah, not
pretty
yet.
Clean racing.
Yeah, you're right. The caveat to that would be if I caught lap traffic, then I would consider making the pit stop.
Yeah, he's a good couple turns away.
Now Nathan is not completely. You're following overhead with the number 21, Nathan Blackerby. He's not completely new
to the endurance
to the endurance series. I just have to keep thinking. There's 23 and 25 giving each other a little bit of space. So, yeah, he's not completely new. He did run the Endurance Series back way back in the day when we were running these things to just see how long you keep the batteries running, which at the time was about 60 laps. And there was no pit stops involved. It was just trying to make it last. So if you wanted to run a conservative strategy and you lifted off the throttle early, then you could definitely make your battery last longer. And that was a big thing with those batteries, is like trying to get them to breathe. You would let off the throttle and it would relax a little bit, and that would let you run a lot longer than just staying on the throttle and mashing it the whole time. It also gives the drivers a good opportunity to run as many laps as they can during this time and just compare their lap times. You get to try something, look up on the board as PJ Mannypenny again goes purple, 25.4. As you swing around turn 1 here, you get an opportunity to look up at the scoreboard, and that will tell you your last lap time. And then you just make corrections from there. And then by the time you get to the end and you're 65 laps, hopefully you figured something out.
25.456.
You can also see a little bit of bumpiness on the cameras too. Some of that gets played out with the vibration absorbing technology of the camera, but these guys do bounce up and down quite a bit, even though this is a relatively flat concrete track. We'll check up here with Xander Carson, see what his view is, sitting in the 3rd spot, the number 25 machine. Big gap now to PJ that he's trying to close. Looks like 4 seconds.
Yeah, PJ really took off, and looks like there's a good gap between Mark and PJ themselves.
All right, so we've got our first pit stop person.
Kart 8, which would be Jason, is coming into the pits right now. Let's see. So he should be able to... Yep, he's unbuckling.
So he has a little bit of advantage because he can stop all the way at the end.
He's going to have more time, too.
Right. But, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about moving up after his pit stop. So he's going to be able to sit right there, watch the timer. I don't know what I did to the timer, but apparently I broke it.
There's another kart pulling into the pits, and that is kart 35, which is Jeremiah. He's pulling in. Just got to make sure these guys know to turn their karts on. He's just now turning his kart on, and he's...
Now he's over 5 seconds now. He's
over 5. He's still sitting in the pits.
Yep. He is good to go, but yeah, he's good to go.
He's good to go.
Good to go.
He's still sitting
but
there.
He's still worried about the seatbelt, so... All right, so we got 7
They're
seconds.
going, yep, he's got 6 seconds.
Yeah, on Jeremiah down there. Which, if that's the pace they want to run, that's okay. But time is now expired. He is now free to release whenever he wants. You got to.
They got to swap to the other car faster.
Right? Yeah.
Thought we gave him enough time.
That's okay. That's okay. This is what it's about, is learning this stuff the first time by. And he slides sideways into turn 2 and the cold tires.
Yeah, it's a big thing too. Is right when you come out, you don't. If you come out in front of the leaders, try to stay out of their way because you will be sliding.
I'm going to take the scoreboard away for just a second and see if I can fix the pit stop timer. I don't know if I can do this on the fly or not, but...
Mark is catching up to Jeremiah, especially with the cold tires. Mark did just pass him.
Oh, of course, I don't have anybody on...
In the pits?
I don't have anybody in the pits, so that's not going to help us. Let's see. Well, I'll see if I can get it fixed for the next one, maybe. I don't know.
PJ's catching up to Jeremiah. They're probably going to give him the blue flag around the carousel.
Yeah, unless he gives him room here. PJ's got to take the long way around that.
There's the blue flag and
down the inside.
PJ.
Yep.
So PJ and Mark still have some clean track. They could push this as long as they can. Did they close at a specific time?
The pits? No.
No.
Nope. But he does have... Okay, I just heard somebody else hit the pit stop timer. But PJ has cut that lead down from 2 seconds to 1 second.
He has, yes. That would be Adam Hoops pulling in. He's at 38 seconds. Slowing down.
And sometimes at this point, you might just want to end the race anyway because you may be physically exhausted. But this is where you,
shake the arms
shake it
out.
off. Give it.
He's looking at the car like, do I really want to do this? Well, how much time we got left?
17 minutes left, or just a little, not quite halfway yet. He's got 13 seconds left on the pit stop timer.
Yep, there he goes. He's pulling
Now
up.
he can pull up, and then as long as he doesn't exceed that line, he's good. That's 0, and he's good to go.
Perfect. That's a good pit right there. He's relaxed a little bit, not too much. Got into his car and went out there.
Take advantage of those extra 5 seconds. You never know.
Then you just got to try to get your tires warmed up as quick as you can. So we've only had 3 people pit. 7 people are still out there. PJ has cut it down to under a second, and then it looks like Mark is going to be catching up to some traffic up here.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this battle to see if PJ can do anything about that gap.
There's a pretty good gap between him and Xander.
PJ won the B main a couple months ago. I want to say it was November because we run this race once a month. And he says, it doesn't really mean anything. But
he's so used to it.
But there's a lot of guys who would really enjoy trying to win the B main because it's a good step.
Yeah.
You start by trying to improve your lap times. Then you start knowing how to run a good race. And then you shoot for things like winning the B main. That's an accomplishment. That's a step. Now we're going to have one other car in between PJ and Mark.
PJ really is catching up. He's down to half a second.
But this is good practice for Mark going down the inside, the number 6, the red sweatshirt. And that puts the number 34 in between them, or 36.
I think it's 36, Joshua.
PJ's now going to be looking for an opportunity to get by him as fast as possible.
Probably going to get a blue flag coming around because I think he is lap traffic.
And this is an opportunity
for Mark to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, because PJ doesn't want to lose that. There we go. All
right, we'll be able to see how much time PJ can make up.
Just past the halfway mark in 35 laps on the board. Mark Davis, still your leader. Still doing those 25 sixes pretty consistently every time I look up at the board. And then PJ knocking it down just a little bit, the 25-5.
He is quickly catching up to Mark.
I saw an onboard here, Xander, as he was making a move past some traffic.
Yeah, we got 14 minutes left and only 3 people have pitted. Hopefully not more than 2 people pit at one time. If it's more than 2, you could be the one that gets stuck behind someone if they have a faulty pit stop.
You could.
Like the first one we saw.
You could. But, if your timer expires and you have somebody in front of you, you are allowed to go around them at the direction of track marshals. Nathan running a little wide back there in the turn 5, and then still swinging it pretty good in the carousel. One of the things that he's been working on the timing of is how to get the throttle back on in the carousel. These cars are unique. You've heard us, if you follow the channel, you hear us talk about it quite a bit. You do have instant torque on the electric motor, but there's also that, at the same time, there's that lag. So you want to get on early, basically around the apex of the corner, and that's not traditional road racing mentality. You got to change your mindsets just a little bit.
Sounds like somebody just entered the pit. It was Mark Davis. Mark Davis is in the pit. We'll see how clean he gets this pit stop. Everybody is into the 25s except 2 people, Mitch and Josh. One's at 26.00 and the other one's at 26.02. So everybody's pretty close to 25.
All right, this will be an important stop for Mark to make sure he can stay in the lead. He just hit 30 seconds on the timer. Looks
like he's got 2 of his own GoPros on there. That might be why they didn't put one of ours on there.
That's true. One forward, one backwards. You can follow his YouTube channel at K1 Racer. I'm sure this race will be on there. He's going to pull up to the blue line. You made me nervous there. Don't exceed the blue line. You don't want to get a penalty for that.
He's got about 5 seconds, and then he'll be good to go. And then you just got to watch how you merge. You don't want to cut anybody off.
There we go. Time expired. He'll re-accelerate back into the field and look for PJ Mannypenny. He came down the front straightaway. Yeah.
Right in front of him.
So overall, a good pit stop for him. PJ will assume the lead of the race.
PJ with the fastest lap again with 25.45. He had it before, didn't he?
Yeah. It's almost like you just need a mark, like, not even there. So
another guy into the pit. That is
Mitch Gillespie. Looks like he'll pick up the number 10, I believe. Yeah, number 10. Fall back on board for a minute for Nathan Blackerby, who's still looking at the back of Ethan Hoops, but has closed the gap. He's pretty much on the bumper right there.
Yeah, this will be a position battle. This is not lap traffic. We'll see if Nathan can get around him. Ethan kind of goes wide on one. Wonder if Nathan does any of the bump and runs.
I would not count on that.
Oh, Nathan with a good pass
down
there.
the inside of turn 5. He's going to make it stick.
Great pass.
That'll be third position moving up this time by.
Wonder if he boosted. I don't know if we'll be able to see because of his helmet in the way, but he might have just kind of boosted through there.
Check your replay, see if you can see it. But yeah, it is kind of, it was bouncing around back there.
What camera is that? 4?
Yeah. Well, for you, it's going to be 8, so. As we take a look down the pit lane, PJ Mannypenny going to be coming into the pits here. Now he is pitting right behind Ethan Hoops. So
this is one of those situations where...
Yeah, PJ's pit timer is only 1 second off of Ethan. Ethan has to make sure that he doesn't... Well, he doesn't have to make sure, but if he does impede PJ, that will mess up his race between him and Mark Davis. But it's only going to be 1 second. So we'll make sure that Ethan, number 2 now, makes a good exit on the pit stop. Let's stay with that action, Drew. And 5 seconds remaining. PJ's also going to pull up. And times are both now expired, but PJ's just a little bit behind the line. He's going to stall just a little bit. And I think that's going to allow... Oh, Mark Davis coming down to turn 1. That is the position for first spot.
And you can tell PJ's tires were a little cold going around 1. I think he kind of spun out a little bit
if
there.
He had gotten a clean exit on that pit stop, then he probably could have come out in the front of Mark Davis. But now he's going to be looking at the back bumper of him. I saw the time expire, and PJ was kind of up to the line, and then he just didn't go right away. It looked like he was maybe looking down at his seatbelt still. That'll let Xander Carson assume the lead of this race as he rounds turn number 3 back here in the back. And that pretty much just leaves your top 3 drivers as ones who have not pitted yet. Xander, Nathan, and Josh. Oh, speaking of which, Nathan Blackerby, he's going to bring that one in.
I think you can see it here.
Ready?
You're not going to be able to see him hit the boost, but that is a pretty clean pass right there.
I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Go back a second. All right, this is the pass down for Ethan down the inside.
Not sure if he boosted, but it was pretty clean and pretty good. Those are the type of pass we look for.
Yeah, as he's finishing his pit stop, he's got 5 seconds remaining. He's going to be able to pull up to the end.
I think he's waiting, so he's not sitting still. And
that's an interesting strategy.
It is.
It's
if you could time it perfectly.
As long as your bumper doesn't pass, yeah.
Yeah.
You keep momentum, I guess.
Because you can tell how PJ kind of got stuck there. It looks like someone else just pulled it to the pit. It is kart 36, Joshua.
That'll leave Xander, the last guy on track, to complete pit stop. Always good to have these guys coming into the Endurance Series. Hope they enjoy it. Hopefully the competition is good.
Biggest thing, too, is just practice.
Yeah.
Keep practicing. A lot of these guys have a lot of track time, and they run a lot of arrive and drive races and all. Just got to keep practicing, and here comes Xander into the pits. Looks like he did not drive up at all. Josh has not driven up the pits at all, and his timer is running out in 5 seconds. Xander can tell that something's up.
Yeah, Xander's got 26 seconds remaining.
Xander's able to drive up, and then he's going to sit up there and wait. I think Michael was trying to put the GoPro on him as he started driving away.
Well, do what you can. If not, it's not a big deal. But he's got 12 seconds remaining.
Hit the power button as you plug it in.
12
hit the power
seconds. Yeah, there we go. Thanks.
He's
He's got 5 seconds remaining. And off he goes. Let's see where he filters back onto the track. We can see Mark Davis and PJ Mannypenny
battling it out.
Yeah, right there in the number 1 and 2 position. And
it does look like they're going to catch up to Ethan. It looks like, and that would be lap traffic. So this is a chance for PJ to get a pass if Mark does get kind of held up by Ethan.
PJ looking on the outside, not going to have a car length on him.
Could do the up and under. He might be able to get on the side. Nope.
Mark's going to take the preferred line into 4 and give a little bit of a squeeze there. That'll push PJ back to the back as they round turn number 5.
Dominic is in the chat. He says hi, and he's watching from Mississippi today.
Hi, Dom. Hope
he was
to have
one of the names we thought we were missing.
Yeah, we were looking at the list of drivers we were missing. You were one of them, so hopefully we'll see you back next month.
PJ is really close. He is half a kart length. Mark did cut it.
Yeah, no, good move. Good move.
He did have the line.
Yep, PJ gave him room, and
these guys are going to battle for the next 5 minutes.
You're following the leaders, number 19, Mark Davis, and number 4, PJ Mannypenny.
PJ still with the fastest time of the night with the 25.42.
Just under 5 minutes remaining. And the race does end at expiration of time this time. So this has changed as well. PJ's going to be right on the bumper of Mark Davis. That's going to make for some great GoPro footage on his channel. In previous sessions, the white flag came out at expiration of time. That's changed. So now checkered flag is going to come out at the end of expiration. And they will
Mark is getting a clean pass, and PJ gets past that guy as well.
Boom, 1-2.
That's good for PJ. He didn't lose any time.
Just props to these drivers and their driver etiquette tonight. I'm really impressed from what we've seen. PJ's really good carrying the momentum out of 1. He gets alongside of Mark.
He's right back onto his bumper.
And then Mark just kind of gets that
tap.
Yeah, Mark really gets a better exit out of 3. So they're kind of back and forth on that.
Oh.
PJ's going to look to the inside of the carousel, but
he's so close. He's right there.
All right, let's see whether he picks up that gain again. And through turn 1, doesn't get as far alongside this time.
Mark did a good job in turn 1. Seemed like he was going a little too quick into it, but he slowed down in time.
Yeah, last lap times.
PJ's right behind him.
Last lap times a 25.921 and a 909, so they were running almost identical.
That is some pretty good footage on his GoPro that's turned around.
Yeah. The younger driver and the master experienced. There he goes. Gets it alongside again, but Mark's always really good at hugging the inside of turn 2, and they'll just pretty much repeat the whole process again. Just lap for lap for lap for lap.
Get 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. Oh, Mark goes a little wide out there.
PJ saw that, trying to capitalize on it in the carousel.
Mark goes wide
also
again.
going wide.
They kind of both went wide there.
Yeah, but that does give him an opportunity to clamp down as they come to the front straight.
Mark is driving very defensive. You can see how he took his line into 1.
Yep.
Man, PJ gets right beside that car.
60 laps on the board. We usually finish right around the 65 mark, 64 mark. Looks like we'll be right on course. Now, if any of these drivers have boost left, which we can't tell from up here, it'd be interesting to know.
That's very true. I forgot about that.
but it sure doesn't look like it because nobody is out accelerating or outpacing each other.
I know these guys just they didn't pit not too long ago. I know when I did the endurance races, I would save a couple boosts to the end just in case you got into a fight like this, to where you might be able to push it right around him right here and to get past him, or at least get half the cart length.
That was a better exit for Mark out of the carousel. He'll defend just a little bit.
Yeah, Mark is doing
one.
really well defending.
Yeah. And especially when you go into turn 2, it's really hard to be disciplined to lift off the throttle because you don't want to slow down, but you have to. Otherwise, it'll screw up your turn 3 as it gives him a little bit of a bump from the outside.
Has to be very nerve-wracking for Mark.
Yeah.
You just got PJ behind you, and you know PJ's behind you.
This is what it's all about right
PJ's
here.
been here forever. You know he's going to battle you, and he knows little things you might not know and some of the turns, and PJ's going to work as hard as he can. We have about a minute left, a minute 10 left.
Oh, the
Mark
same
keeps
thing.
going a little sideways.
Yep. Because you're right on the edge of grip as you turn left there anyway, and any kind of assistance from another car definitely pushes the rear end out. So 56 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they would probably get white flag next time by. That's my guess.
Yeah.
PJ's got to look for
PJ's just right on his bumper.
any kind of error on Mark Davis's part.
I feel like the only error would be around this carousel.
Yeah.
But Mark
he
hugged it pretty
hugged
tight
it
there.
really close that time around. Oh, so 30 seconds remaining. Oh, white flag did come out. So
It did come out?
Armand did
Did he
float.
wave it?
Yeah, he did throw the
Okay.
white flag.
PJ's trying to do that up and under again. Still not quite there. Gives him a little tap.
Mark's going to have to
Mark
really
slides
try hard
again.
to control the car. Great car control from both of these
We're gonna
guys
see
tonight.
around this carousel.
As Mark Davis will round the carousel one last
There
time.
he goes. He held him off.
Mark Davis will take the B main in round number 1 of the Endurance Championship Series.
Held him off for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Xander Carson finishing in 3rd, and Nathan Blackerby finishing right there in 4th. Ethan Hops finishing your top 5. And Adam,
His father,
his
just
dad
right behind
finishing
him.
in 6th. So take a look at the pit lane entry.
Everybody did a very good job.
Yeah, I think so too. Mitch kind of letting off the throttle a little bit there, but it's something that the drivers have to learn in the pit entry. You just have to trust the computer, and unfortunately, that's hard to do.
When I was practicing it to make sure it was working for the 12 hours, it really is. You just gotta trust the cart.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're gonna smack the wall. But you also know in your head if it doesn't, you're gonna hit your brake.
Yeah.
It's gotta be quick enough to adjust. But you definitely come into that flying.
If you don't, then you lose a bunch of time.
Yeah. So we can see PJ getting out of his cart.
And hopefully Mark would want to send us an interview tonight. We had his sister Ryan on earlier. And he will park the number 19 machine ready for charge.
He has to be feeling really good.
I would be if I had held off PJ that long.
Everybody did break into the 25s, except those 2 guys again. They still got 26-0.
Hugs from Grandpa as we finish up the GoPro
See you have
footage.
the yellow flag?
It's just in case. Yeah.
There's Giovanni running out.
Giovanni.
And his sister.
Here, I can.
Oh, thanks.
Mark, congratulations on winning the B main.
Thank you.
So, what was that like having PJ on your bumper those last however many laps it
was
was?
5
Scared
minutes.
because I ran out of boosts before he did.
Yeah. Could you sense that he had more boost than you?
Yeah, because he was pushing me down turn 1.
Oh,
Every lap.
that's how you knew then. But
Yep.
it wasn't enough to get you out of the way, huh?
No.
Experienced race car driver, and you kind of being newer. You have had a lot of laps around this track, but knowing that the experienced guys behind you has got to be a little nerve wracking. So,
Yeah.
making you sweat a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, about the qualifier. So obviously you did a good qualifying time, and we had the 7-minute qualifier tonight instead of the traditional lap counts. Was that a long time?
You did 17 qualifying laps. Usually you do 7, so you did 10 more that time.
Yeah, I like it.
You like having the 7 minutes instead?
Yeah.
You didn't take us up on a kart swap, so you must have been happy with it. Would it kind of cross your mind as far as a disadvantage to doing a kart swap?
Yeah, because you'd have to warm up the new cart, and then you'd be out of time.
Right. So it's a little bit of a risk.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
How'd you like the pit timer? Did you feel like that was enough time as you came into the pit?
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Yep.
I was kind of surprised to see that 55 seconds was so close. Did you feel like you were rushed doing the pits?
Not really.
Really? Okay. What would be, I don't know, what would be an appropriate amount of time that would be like the minimum amount of time that would take to do that?
I think 50.
50? Okay.
What did it used to be, 50?
Well, we ran 45 seconds
45.
last time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought adding 5 seconds was going to give us a lot of buffer, but I was noticing guys tonight were just pulling up at the line at the expiration of time. So,
Yeah.
you got anything to tell your fans who are watching this live stream?
To come and race.
We'll leave it at that. Congratulations on winning the B main tonight.
Good job,
Thank you.
Mark. Yeah, what a great race. Pretty clean all around.
I really enjoyed the end of it. That was the most exciting thing to watch.
Now we know this A main, everybody's going to be pretty close. Everybody's pretty quick. The top time was the 25.196, and the slowest time in the A main was a 25.608. So those guys are all very close to each other.
Chelsea Davis saying, Mark is the man. Yeah, he's always got a lot of fans in the chat for sure. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in and welcome to K1 Speed Canton. We're running an endurance league here. It's a 30-minute race and indoor electric go-karts. And this season is going to carry us all through the summer. So about once a month, we're going to run this, usually the third Sunday of the month. However, next Sunday's going to be a little different because it's Easter. We're going to bump it earlier a week. But you can follow us through this channel. April, May, June, July, August, we'll have a double header at the end of the August months. And then who knows what will happen in September.
Exhibition of Speed for sure.
The Exhibition of Speed, definitely.
And anybody can sign up for that unless you were, top 3 in a Canton Endurance League?
We did top
Canton
5
League,
last year,
top
didn't we?
5
Top
in
5.
our adult league.
Yeah. And that's just to keep it fun and interesting
That's
for everybody.
close-
They don't feel like
close
they're just
to.
going to get obliterated. It's something
Yeah.
that's
Everybody
worth
should
signing
have
up.
a chance.
Yeah.
We do a bunch of different formats, and we do have the boost, right? The boost is there.
Yeah, most likely be a boost. Yeah. This is where I originally had scheduled Ryan to come do the interview, but she
did it out there.
yeah.
Yes, all endurance races are 30 minutes. I think this is the Apex Racing. He must have changed his name.
He said the very first chat message, you want to go back to it? He said he changed his name.
Yes,
so.
he changed his name now to LXXXIV Motorsports.
LXXIV. So L is 100?
That was 50.
Okay. So 50 plus 10, 60,
70,
and then it's
80.
IV 4. So 64 motorsports?
Well, it's 3 X's.
Oh,
So 84 Motorsports.
84 motorsports. That's a lot more motorsports than 31 motorsports. Just throwing that out there.
That's why it was messing me up, because I know there was a 12-hour team that was, like Dom said, XXXI.
Yeah,
33?
31.
31 Motorsports?
Yeah, that was Marshall and
So,
Dom's
yeah, I think it
teams.
was 84.
If the drivers miss tonight, they still have 6 more rounds they can complete in this series, and we drop your lowest score. So people like Dom who don't make it tonight can still compete and have basically full points throughout the entire season. So maybe we should get we got feedback from Armand. Armand, want to stop in and talk to us real quick?
Yeah, I know Don was asking what the top times were for the A-main qualifier. We have Tyler at the pole position with the 25.19, Joey with the 25.22, and Anthony with the 25.31. those were the top 3. We have Armand.
What's up, guys?
How do you think the first race went?
I think it went really well.
Yeah, I was
didn't
impressed.
Have to make a single call, so that's the way I like it.
Yeah, that's really what we want, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you thought was like questionable or on the edge, or everything clean?
No, I mean lap 1 or 2, a couple, three or 4 cars were in a train and some bumping, but I mean that usually happens in the first couple laps. But as soon as the field spread apart, it was pretty clean the rest of the way.
So Adam and I talk about the bumping rule and how it's really hard to enforce bumping because a bump can really be something innocent. You could just run into somebody, but you're really looking for somebody who makes impact, right?
Exactly.
Like
I mean, I'm looking for if the first driver, I mean, if their head goes backwards or if they're completely offline after, I'm looking really for a hit rather than a bump.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I think that's an accurate term to say. We enjoyed watching the top 2 there at the very end, making the call for PJ and Mark. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, really fun, and they kept it clean. So I talked to PJ after the race. I'm like, thanks, man. I appreciate you keeping it clean.
Because Mark was saying that he could feel that PJ still had boost behind him. So
yeah, down the straight, PJ definitely looks a lot faster. So he always pulled out to the left, just couldn't make the pass work.
when you stand on the front straightaway there, you kind of get attuned to the way the cars sound, right? Like
yes.
You can hear when the motor spools up faster.
Right.
For
and also
boost.
like different breaking points between someone that has boost and someone who doesn't. So you definitely hear it from there.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's hope the A main goes just as clean.
Exactly, yeah. Hope so. We'll see.
All right, thanks, Armand.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, so Dom was asking, apparently he didn't know the scores drop. You could drop your lowest score or you could just miss one.
Yeah, your lowest score automatically gets dropped.
Because there's 7 races, we only take 6.
Only take
so
your
you
6.
can drop one or just not show up. So you missing this first one
you're not out.
Doesn't hurt you at all.
Nope. It'll automatically become your lowest one to drop. So I don't know how to fix my pit lane timer right away. I think my color schemes are off and
That's all right. We'll just count down.
yeah. Sorry, guys. We had to reset everything after the 12 hours. I mean, the 12 hours production crew did an amazing job. I hope you go back and watch it if you haven't already. But everything in the booth here was set up completely different. And so I'm trying to get everything back to the way that we were using it for the Endurance Series and GP.
Yeah, they really did do a good job.
Yeah, shout out to
Alan.
Alan.
And then his...
And Spencer. Spencer
assistant.
was guy on replay. And we, of course, enjoyed having Derek Everett here to do announcing in the booth with me. Pretty cool. I feel like after third year we kind of gelled. You know, it was a good
Derek,
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek just has that perfect voice.
He does.
Like for
He does.
I don't know.
Yep.
Dom says he will be back next month, but he just couldn't attend today because he was out of town.
Sweet.
So for this race, we were going to have Tyler on pole, Joey second, Anthony, Gavin, Jensen. Those are the top 5. And then the other 5 at the bottom will be Alex, Sean, Dave, Tristan, and Grant. It is I think Grant's first ever position race.
Yeah.
So I know those can definitely be get you nervous out there.
Yeah, the nerves can definitely be a thing.
Especially when someone's right behind you, you're scared to mess up.
And I'm always excited to see the young guns at the wheel too. So we got
Oh, I love it.
yeah,
I love seeing
Gavin
the
and-
teens come in and
Gavin and Jensen, man.
just seeing where they can compare to our fastest adults, the fastest guys that are here at this place.
Actually, it's really interesting. You've got Tyler, who was Team Superfly, Joey, who was also Team Superfly, followed
you
by
got DHB.
three drivers from DHB. So your top 5 are 2 teams from the 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't see any other team practice as much as DHB. They were here every week practicing
Everything.
getting the lap, everything, getting the lap times down, getting the communications clear, working as a team. And that's not to discount
and they
any
ended
other
up
team.
in second.
Yeah.
Like
That's not
it
to
paid
discount
off.
any other team because every team did their amount of preparation and so forth, but that team was above and beyond for sure. Looks like this time we'll have it on board with Sean Horrigan. And also,
Jensen.
speaking of the young guns, Jensen Janda.
Did they not want to put any on like the top guys in any of these
Hey,
races?
well, they are top guys. But
Yeah.
this is kind of good because you can see the field.
Yeah.
Anthony sitting there in third. He was the first driver to do a kart swap during qualifications, trying to move up in the field just a little bit. Tyler and Joey had just a little bit of an edge on him. But this will be an interesting run at the front for sure.
Anthony did win the last endurance race
He did. Yep.
last season. I know Tyler came into that one saying he was going to win, but did not win.
And think about how cool this is if this top 5 are your drivers for this endurance series.
It very well could be. I know Alex could probably sneak into there.
Absolutely.
Here and there.
Absolutely. But you may be seeing the championship battle forming right here in round number 1. $25 points on offer for the winner, 1 point for pole position, so that automatically gives 1 point at least to Tyler Stevenson on the board. 2 points for fastest lap of the race. And then also another bonus point for biggest mover. So biggest mover is if you've passed at least 3 people during the race, you qualify to be whoever passes the most number of people.
Is that for each heat or does it the total race?
Total overall.
So somebody in the B main could get an extra point.
That's correct.
Just for being the biggest mover.
Yep.
Which could help you if you didn't qualify as good as you think you could have. Then
if you
can get your point back. Or
if you have a bad qualifying session and you move all the way up in the A main, then not only would you finish with good points, but it would also help you with biggest mover. But you just have to you have to move more than 3 positions. We don't want people moving like 1 or 2 positions and getting the bonus points.
Yeah.
So.
I'm interested to see Nathan. I feel like Nathan moved quite a bit.
I think he moved up 2. Yeah.
But we never know. We've seen some crazy numbers in moving.
Yep. Stand by. Looks like they're getting ready for the green lights.
Let everybody know.
Season 6 is underway with the A main as the lights go
Here we
green.
go,
Oh no, a
and
bad
Joey
start
has
from
a
Joey.
Bad start.
Joey does not get power. What is happening with the number 32 machine? He has some speed, but not a lot. That is usually indicative of being on the pedals. So they'll decide what to do here. Because usually feet on the pedals means that the car will just stall out, but he clearly had...
And he races there all the time. He knows better. But you never know. Your foot could be slightly on it. I don't know. I just feel like I would maybe just regrid everybody. And
Yep, that's what he's going to do. He's going to regrid everybody. Probably keep the clock running. So as soon as they can get everybody sorted out and running back, it might just be considered or classified a mechanical issue. I don't know. Have you ever seen a speed 2? That's pretty much what it looked like. Can you go back?
Yeah, we can.
Because he did have power.
He did. So it's not like my only thing that I could think of is maybe his car was.
It wasn't a complete stall.
Like off.
As they circle back around, we'll get this keyed back up. Are you going to be pretty close?
Oh. There we go. Yeah, we'll try to get it real quick.
Yep, just back up from there.
See what it looks like here. Here they are getting ready.
Oh, it looks like they are going to end the time. So we'll basically completely reset. So this is now in replay.
They're getting ready here. Then you'll see the scoreboard flick. There's the scoreboard flicking and then green and just kind of looked like he just...
Where's his left foot? Is it on the... It does touch the brake. Where
did my things go?
Yeah, if you just run it forward slowly.
Here.
He hits the throttle, but if that...
See, look how soon he hits the throttle.
Yeah.
Can't really see any of the green
Go back
lights.
a little bit further because I want to see... It looked like his left foot moved. Can you go back? Okay, that's good.
Right here?
Yeah, that's fine. Let it play.
Play
Yep.
out from here.
Yep.
So this is slow-mo. You'll see his right foot, though, reaction time to Tyler's. See...
There we go. Okay. Nope. Yeah, I don't think that was an error on his side.
They were saying something. I'm not sure what they were saying. But they are going to have to...
I mean, they should have had speed 4 coming out of the pits, but... Yeah, I thought I saw his left foot move, but that was actually afterwards, so... All right, we'll chalk it up to a mechanical, get the clock reset, and then we'll do another start with everybody.
I'm not sure what they're doing right now with the scoreboard, though. They're going to have to set up the race.
Yeah, they're probably just working on getting all the cart numbers copied over. Yes, Drew?
They said that it was because his cart was outside the pit lane or something? In front of the pit lane
Okay.
when he started the race.
Oh, so he didn't get the speed 2.
Oh, that makes sense. He didn't hit the trigger point going out.
All right. So we'll just watch and restart. Oh, false start for Tyler Stevenson. Oh, that's going to allow Joey Valentine to go around the outside. That was a false start on Tyler Stevenson.
False start.
But that's going to cost him the position as Anthony Narowski right there behind Tyler on the outside. Joey Valentine takes an early lead on this one. He's going to lead that first lap as Tyler Stevenson's going to be second and Anthony Narowski is going to round third. The two young guns right there, Gavin Patterson and Jensen Janda in the light blue helmet and the white and black helmet, sitting in positions 4 and 5. As Alex Eckelberry wearing the familiar papaya yellow, orange, whatever, papaya. It's just papaya, right? And we'll follow on board with Jensen here as he's got a great shot of Gavin Patterson in the number 35. Now, Joey Valentine already setting the sub 26 second lap time. Looks like he was the first one to do that on the lead, or on the first laps here. So quickly getting away, but he is now under heat, well, a little bit, from Tyler Stevenson. Couple purple laps on that last one. Anthony had it momentarily before Gavin stuck it back at the 25.7. Got a little bit of action here from Sean Horrigan. He's on board with the number 29. He's got he's got the number 18 in front of him now. Dave Patterson, Gavin's dad.
I did get a replay on that jump. It does look like, if we could see on the replay here, if we could do it real quick so we don't miss a lot of action. Looks like as the scoreboard's going, he goes with the scoreboard and doesn't go with the green lights.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can see the scoreboard flicking in the background.
Which may have caught his attention. I don't know. There is another scoreboard sitting there over by the pits, so...
All right, so it looks like after the 6th place is spacing itself out pretty well. We do have a group of 3, and then a group of 4.
Yep. These top 2 drivers having qualifications of 0.02 seconds from each other, I believe. So pace was very close as Joey goes purple for the first time. We've now had
that's the fastest lap.
Sub 25.5s. Yeah, this battle back here with the 4 cars in the very back. You got Dave, Sean, Tristan, and Grant. But everything else up front so far, so clean.
This is where your strategy comes into play with pitting. We'll see who will be the first one to pit.
Right on board with Jensen Janda.
It's just right behind his friend Gavin. Do you think they like work together at all, or they're talking? They could try to work their way through the field a little bit.
I don't know that they can talk to each other, but I would certainly imagine that they would want to work together. Yeah. You are allowed to use radio communications for this race. It's usually forbidden in other K1 GP type environments, but we say this is practice for our in big endurance races. So by all means, communications, whatever you'd like to do. We encourage people to have people on the pit box. We encourage people to help call strategy, watch from the outside. That's all part of the racing fun.
Joey with another fastest lap with the 25.331.
Gavin having to cut wide to the outside to keep Gavin from coming in. The line I've talked about with Jensen before is how close he holds turn 1. I think we'll continue to see examples of that as the night goes on here. Tyler Stevenson keeping that 0.7 of a second gap, and Anthony not being lost.
Yeah, right there. They are breaking away a little bit from Gavin and Jensen.
But that gap is pretty consistent too. The only time that Jensen would need to be concerned is if Gavin keeps holding him up, but so far that gap is about the same. Right around the 1.1 second mark. Joey knocking off a 25.2.
Jeez.
Hard on the brakes into turn 1. We heard that squelch. Now they're going to get a pretty good gap. The only two cars that are going to be nose to tail is going to be these guys right here between Jensen and Gavin. Keep an eye on Joey as he goes across again. And this time Anthony's going to take away the fastest lap. Anthony has described before how he listens to the car, and I wouldn't be surprised now 12 laps into the race that he's really dialed into how it's working.
He's very good as...
See, look how close he is going to be to Tyler Stevenson in the blue.
Mark Davis said in the chat that he said, "Go Anthony, it's all thanks to his coaching."
Oh,
I know
nice.
Anthony does coach Mark a lot.
Yeah, Anthony's been a great mentor to the DHB team that he drove on for the 12 hours, as well as pretty much anybody else who
asked him.
Yeah.
Very good guy.
And we hope that's true of all the drivers here. We see a lot of good community. That's what a lot of this live stream YouTube channel stuff about, is just developing the community of racers. We love to see it here at K1 Speed Canton. And we appreciate you guys following along as well. Tyler Stevenson, not to be outdone, 25.2 last
so
lap
they're
by.
all around the 25.2s. And just at like a steady pace right now. Yeah, 25.28, 25.24, 25.25.
Might be a little boost strategy coming into play because Anthony now has brought the gap between him and Tyler back to where it was at the start of the race. My guess is, or my theory would be, get a little bit of the boost out of the way and then see if you can make the pass, because if you can do it early, that'd be the time to pounce. Top three running very consistent laps. We'll see what they are this time by.
Joey was pointing at something. I don't know if he's having a problem with his brake.
Well,
Seems
if he
like
is, he's certainly locking up the rear tires with it, though.
And you're certainly able to pit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You don't like something, I know it might be a little earlier than you expect and when you want to pit, but sometimes it's just better just to get it out of the way and get into a new kart. And
I mean, the last couple turns, he's locked them up into turn 1, so it's not that the brakes aren't working. And he's still holding pace, so...
We've seen in the past, some people just don't even use like their brakes. They'll just slow down enough.
Yeah, doesn't really work in turn 1, but...
Yeah, but you could get it slowed enough.
If you let off like before the start-finish line, you'd have to be letting off pretty early. Be running a pretty conservative battery strategy, I'd say.
I feel like Tyler's really upset with his start. He's going to try to catch up to Joey as quick as he can. Joey is very quick and it's going to be hard to pass. You just don't want... This is like a... Anthony's in like that perfect spot. If they're going to battle it out, Anthony, we've seen before, just get past both of them and then take the lead.
We're floating a little bit high. It looks like we're not really on board with Jensen, but take our word for it. All right, we have our first pit stop. Somebody triggered the line back here.
Kart 29, that would be Sean Horgan sitting in the 9th spot. Grant, it did move up 2 spots. He's in 8th. Here comes Sean.
He'll be first in the row as he hits 35 seconds on the timer. Last season, we had 25 seconds for the pit stop of getting out of the car and back in.
What is that?
That's his own GoPro. It's like a 360.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we ran 25 seconds before, but now that we're triggering it with the pit in, then we have to take that in totality. So
looks like we got 3 karts in the pit as of right now. Sean's about to leave in 7 seconds. It looks like kart 26, which would be Tristan, has pulled in, and kart 35, which is Gavin, has pulled in. Oh, Gavin pulled in pretty quick.
Gavin's going to have that seat insert that's going to take him a little extra time.
Gavin does have 30 seconds. Sean has went back out. Tristan is scooting up to the line. Gavin should be good at this. He just did this for 12 hours.
Yeah.
He should be able to hop into the cart and go.
Yeah, he did this and with no pit stop timer. I mean, it was you leave as soon as you can. That's Tristan's timer. It'll expire. And
Jensen with a 25.12, setting the fastest lap so far.
Dang, now that Gavin was out of the way, apparently that opened up the door for Jensen. So,
and here comes Gavin coming out of the pits.
Perfect execution by all those drivers.
And the leaders are going to pass him, and Jensen should be able to get around him since he will have cold tires.
He gets out in front of him. He's got to hold on to the back of that car.
Yep, there goes Jensen. Yeah, I think Gavin just let him pass.
He did. Well, he knew that would not be a smart move to go. You can't push it in 4 like that. So that was a smart move.
There we go. And
Jensen's
they're all still right by each other. Jensen has a 24.966.
So he did hit the 24s. Jensen Janda with one of the fastest lap times ever seen on this track before. Running the boost, 24 laps into the race.
That's insane. The
that
second
is a
fastest
blistering
lap
pace.
is at 25.24.
We only saw 2 other instances of 24-second lap times during the 12 hours, and I was joking that we would not see that.
Yeah.
But Jensen
that is
pulling
insane.
it off. We'll watch that car as
he got right up to Anthony.
Yeah.
24.92. He sets his fastest again.
They're going to attribute that to car number 8. So, I'll be hearing about that one later. But hey, a 24.9 is still a 24.9. So
yeah, exactly. He could just be hitting his boost in the right spot. You never know.
All of these cars go through straight line testing. Basically, we require them to finish a point A to point B test at X number of seconds. And all the motors are tuned according to how they perform. And they're all continuously checked. Every car...
weekly, yes.
Yeah, every car went through that test before the 12 hours especially. And some drivers will argue, well, it doesn't change handling characteristics, and that's correct. But it does give us a good baseline to establish that makes the cars as fair as possible. It's some of the closest fields we've seen over the last 8 to 10 months we've been doing that.
And if your car is going to die, your battery doesn't just die out, or it does just die out. It doesn't slowly die out.
Yeah, it doesn't deteriorate so much over time. Except for those last couple laps, we were joking during the third pit stop for high voltage during the 12 hours and how they were just pushing the 104 laps. We were just so nervous watching that battery telemetry going, it's going to fall off. It's going to fall off. And one of them actually did. One of the batteries actually died just as they pulled into the pits.
Their pit strategy was perfect, and it's probably a reason why they won. They were locked in.
It's been the way to attribute the winner of the 12 hours every year is how the best...
Keep it clean.
Best drivers and the best battery management strategies, not just pit stop strategy, yeah.
All right, these 4 are really close now. We'll see if Tyler won't try to make any passes. He is catching up to Joey really quickly. Well, you can see they kind of boosted there.
Oh, Joey's going to go down the inside of him. He's not going to give a lot of room, but Joey's going to prefer it into 2, as we always say. And that's going to give Anthony Narowski around the outside, but that's going to sort him back.
Tyler does look upset. He gave the finger pointer.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just saying, you got me there, because Tyler did have a good pass, and then it looks like Joey just stuck with it.
Yeah, it may not be worth the risk of any kind of penalty into turn one because he wasn't probably far enough alongside. I guess we'd have to replay it. Anthony now going to look around the inside, but he's going to point back. Oh, this is going to give Jensen an opportunity to go to the inside. What does Jensen do? Oh, he's going to get cut off with Anthony, but Anthony's going to allow Gavin to slide by as well. That was not what Anthony was planning on doing. I'm sure of that.
Trying to figure out this replay.
But now Gavin going to sit through at the third spot as he comes across the timing line, moving up with Gavin Patterson hot on his tail.
Oh, was that on Jensen's GoPro?
You can use probably camera one. Tyler not be able to get past Joey Valentine since that last 2 laps ago. But that has resorted or shifted the order with Jensen sitting in third and Anthony now in fourth. The only reason that Gavin is not shown there is because he's already completed his pit stop. So he is out of pit sequence from the rest of these guys. We thought actually the 55 seconds was going to give these guys a bigger change as we now see somebody else, card number 18 of Dave Patterson triggering the timer. We thought that was going to give him a bigger pit delta. However, it looks like it's almost ended up dead even with the 55-second pit timer.
Not sure where this went over here. It's not like going to live.
Dave Patterson's going to have 30 seconds left on his clock, and he can pull up the number 2 machine as we watch on-track battles here. Jensen Janda right on the back of Tyler Stevenson in the blue, number 34. Just now past the halfway mark. I have to guess that move by Tyler was probably a boost move, and he hasn't made it since. So if he has run out of boost, that's pretty much going to expire that kart for that run. They will get 15 more boosts on the next pit stop.
I don't know. I'm caught up as showing Gavin's in front of Jensen, so I don't know.
And you'll see the pit stop number for Grant, his first pit stop in the Endurance League.
Now, Grant did start in 10th, and he's up to the 6th spot. I know he might...
Because everybody below him has pitted, yeah. Gavin, Dave, Sean, Tristan, they've all pitted.
But I think he's moved up 3 spots.
I guess we'll see when he sorts out.
Look how close those 4 are. I know Anthony's got to be...
Tyler
tries to take one.
Moved out a little bit, but it wasn't enough to get alongside.
We got Gavin right beside Jensen. All right, they all straighten themselves out.
Top 4 running 25-7, 25-5, 25-6, 25-4 on this last lap. Looks like Anthony Narovsky is going to dip into the pits and swap out the number 3 machine.
It'll be interesting to see where these top 3 come out, even though with Gavin being right there.
That'll answer the question to the 55-second delta.
These guys are just
sure going to
perfectly right on bumpers. Jensen's going for the pass on Tyler, and he should get it.
He makes it halfway up.
He got
him.
Great pass. He had to have boosted or something because he was flying into that turn.
I could hear the cheers from the fence line down there as he's now got Joey Valentine in his sights. And they're going to have to contend with
Joey must have just...
Sean and Tristan up ahead. They're sitting in 9th and 10th.
Joey did just pull into the pits. There goes Joey. He's got about 35 seconds to hop into that cart, turn it on, drive up, and sit at that line. We'll see where he can come out since cart 34. Tyler is into the pits as well. So right now, I think we have Alex and Jensen are the only 2 that have not pitted yet.
Joey's got 15 seconds left on his timer as he adjusts the pedals in the steering wheel. He can move up to that blue line if he wants to. Although my guess is he's probably taking the Blackerby approach and maybe, nope, not going to do a running start on it. And there we go, 0 seconds. And that will put Joey back out in the front as he goes side by side by Tristan McCauley and Jensen Janda right behind him. So sorted out just in time with that perfect execution of a 55-second pit in and pit out.
Wow, that was actually like perfect.
That was
That's kind
perfect.
of where he went in at.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I know we set that to it, so we didn't really know exactly.
And so we got Tyler Stevenson in the pits now too, as his pit timers
His pit
run
timer
by.
did go by a little slower.
His car-
Oh my goodness!
And he comes out right behind Jensen, which is right where he exited.
If you're Jensen, would you pit now? Just you just seen two guys come out right where you are. Are you able to pit now and come out right behind Joey?
Oh.
Or do you give up that spot and then...
That's tough because all these guys had perfect pit stops.
I know.
So
looks like Gavin's trying to pass Tyler. Gavin will have the inside in
line.
one.
And Gavin's going to make the move past
Gavin's
him.
into
as
third.
Tyler continues trying to warm up the number 6 tires. Gavin already on a warm kart in the number 4.
We'll see if Jensen has any boost left, but Jensen was throwing down some very quick times. We'll see if he's able to get past Joey.
I can guess that they're going to tell Jensen to stay out because of the kart. You know, DHB was sold on the fact that it was the kart in that particular instance, and so they're going to tell him to keep out. But Joey's just got to keep him behind if he wants to maintain the lead, as we're now just going to approach the 10-minute remaining of this 30-minute race. We still have the onboard with Jensen as we have a shot up above of our leader.
Oh, he was thinking about the pass.
He was thinking about it.
He
You
did
could
go
see
out
him
into
dip
the
out
middle.
just a little bit.
I know Joey's going to be driving really defensive.
Alex Eckelberry completing his pit stop now. He's exiting into turn 2. Tyler's dropped back just a little bit. Probably had the biggest challenge with getting the kart warmed up in the middle of that heat. He's got Anthony Narowski on his tail back there, the number 23.
Those three are right there, and then Granson's 7th, so he did move up 3 spots.
That pretty much leaves us as Jensen is the only guy on track who has not completed a pit stop yet.
And Jensen did moved up 4 spots, right? He should have started 5th.
Yes. Yeah, he started behind Gavin.
And if he's tied with anybody, he does have the fastest lap.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's going to try to make a pass here. It's looking like he's trying to set up on the straightaway on going into 1 to make the pass. Those 3, see, if they were talking to each other, they could be like, Gavin, give me a little bit of a bump or something. Try to get around.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. I'm sure that there's some conversations in the pit lane about it. One of the goals going into this race was to try to clean up some of the racing. Try to keep the drivers holding their racing line,
They've done a very good
doing
job.
good passing, yes. And that was one of the reasons that Armand was brought in, and we appreciate him stepping into this role. So far, this is paying off. So we still got 8 minutes left on the clock, but really want to keep this driving as good and as clean as possible.
The biggest thing is like if Jensen's trying to take the inside, Joey's is blocking.
Yep, he's going to hold the line going into 1. As long as that's not deemed an evasive maneuver to block him, then he is allowed to hold that line. But at some point, Jensen still has to pit.
He still has to pit.
If you do
and then
not-
when you're merging, it's just
Yeah.
you don't want to be that guy and merge into traffic. But in a situation like this, you
Giving
might
him
have
the
to.
boost
Jensen's
again.
going for it.
Does he make it through the inside? Does he? Okay, so we're going to see. We're talking about the clean racing line as Joey throws up his hands. We'll see what.
Now they're battling into 2 and 3. It looks like Joey did try to cut off Tyler there.
Joey.
Throws
As Tyler still has to make evasive maneuver into turn 4 there.
as he was getting closed off. We'll see.
Yeah, Joey's going to asks race control as Anthony goes onto the inside of Joey,
I mean,
wondering what is going on.
Joey was throwing his hands up and not paying attention,
Right.
and Anthony
Yep.
took the move.
And Anthony's the kind of guy who will pay attention. He will make the move when he sees the other driver not making a good line. You have to complete at least one pit stop during the race, though. Otherwise, you are disqualified.
Jensen does have 6 minutes. Hopefully, Jensen
Yeah.
remembers he needs to pit. We hope.
I'm sure he's got a bug in his ear.
Not sure what Armand just held up. I don't know if it was a let pass.
I think it was let pass, yeah.
Looked like, okay.
They down there have access to footage as well to review any kind of
It
potential
is the
calls.
second half of the race.
Yep.
And most of those guys who were in that battle did pit, so we did say that we would add 5 seconds on at the end of the race. Jensen with a 24.91 in the same cart. You think he saved his boost? Or
I don't know how he could still have boost at this point.
How can you run a 24.9 like that?
I don't know.
Somebody just spun out. Oh, you got these guys battling.
This is
Towards
Grant,
the back.
Yeah, Grant back here with, I believe, Dave.
Dave?
Yep. Or is it Tristan? Yeah, it's Dave.
Yeah, it looks like Dave made a pass on Grant. Let's get back to the leaders.
Grant giving him the bump, but not the run. I didn't recognize.
Looks like, yeah, he's still
Didn't recognize
a little
Dave so
slide.
much because of the helmet, but
I feel like he always wears that blue long sleeve shirt from his job. I just not used to him wearing a t-shirt.
D&K Fence sponsoring DHB Racing.
Jensen has pulled away here.
Yeah, and Gavin has too.
Well, that's because they were all like those 3 through 5 are kind of right on each other and kind of spun each other
which has
out.
allowed Anthony to take the third spot.
Anthony was sitting 5th, and he just stayed patient. It looks like they might not be making a call, but we'll let Armand do his job and see what happens.
Yep. He is
It
going
looks
now
like
pit.
Jensen is pitting. I didn't know if he was long. He was waving at somebody. All right,
Yeah.
here comes Jensen. Let's see if he gets a clean pit. He's at 50 seconds.
This is going to be absolutely critical for the leader of this race to make sure he gets a good one. And his pit stop timer running now right at 30
He
seconds
needs to drive
remaining.
up. He needs to drive up.
He
Yep.
will. He
There
will.
he goes. He's warming up the tires. Oh. He's pulling up right to the line. He's still got 15 seconds, so he's got a lot of time. He's tightening his seatbelts. That's a great job with the seatbelt right there.
Yeah.
Cart's
he's-
on. Everything's good. Now he's just going to sit and watch.
5
and then we're going to
seconds.
see where he comes out compared to Gavin here. He should be leaving now.
There we go.
And Gavin is, he's going to pull out right in front of Gavin, but he's not going to have super warm tires.
Well executed pit stop from
But
Jensen
he
Janda.
should have enough gap there to where he's able to warm up his tires and stay in the lead.
Yep.
And he's got boost, so if you need to use some, you can use some.
The
But Gavin caught up real quick.
The 3 drivers from DHB Racing now leading this first round of the Endurance Championship Series. Jensen have a little bit of struggle as he keeps
Gavin
keeps the rear end
right
from underneath
behind him.
him.
We'll
and
see
now,
how these two battle it out.
yeah, I've got to be careful there, Gavin, on the outside.
We got 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining.
And this is part of the challenge as well, is you got to adapt to a whole different cart. And
Quickly.
it's cold, and you got to do it quick.
If I was Jensen, I would maybe use as many boosts as you can right now
Yep,
just to try
yep,
to pull away.
Yep. Too bad we don't have a lower angle on there if we're just kind of floating around there on his camera, but
That's all right. We got Drew.
yep, we got Drew. Gavin Patterson keeping the pressure on Jensen for the lead. Anthony now at about 3
Anthony's
seconds
just
back.
trying to catch up.
Yep. Anything you can in the number 23.
2 minutes remaining.
It doesn't look... The only possibility for penalty at this point would be a post-race penalty for somebody as far as a time
Correct.
penalty.
We got a minute 35 left. Right now it goes Jensen, Gavin, Anthony, Tyler, Joey. Gavin is right on the back of Jensen. He's trying to cut him off there. Jensen's blocking really well.
Yep, but he's going to take this real tight turn 1 and try to keep him behind.
He's got to hold on for 1 more minute.
Yep. Catching up is one thing, passing is a whole other.
It is. But that's why we added the boost. Maybe it helps some of them get past each other so you don't dump people off into the wall. It's good try to...
Jensen was taping up his hands before this race. I looked at him, I said, you don't seriously have blisters still from the 12 hours? He's like, oh, absolutely, from the steering wheel.
That's crazy.
These guys routinely ran over 100 laps in their stints, and these cars are very difficult and physically taxing to drive.
All right, this should be last lap. We should be seeing a white flag, and there's the white flag to Jensen. Jensen just needs to hold off for like 20 more seconds.
If I had to guess on the call, it was Jensen was more than halfway along the cart in front, which is why Joey just wasn't leaving enough room. And so therefore, unless we hear otherwise, Jensen Janda is going to roll across the back straightaway.
Gavin gets right behind him, but...
Gavin's not going to have the pace for him as he crosses the finish line. Jensen Janda takes round number 1 of the A main in the Endurance League Championship.
Anthony's got to be super happy. You just got to sometimes just stay there and wait for something in front of you to happen, and something happened, and he was able to get third.
Obviously, Joey slowing down in disappointment across the line, finishing back there in the 5th after leading a majority of this race. But then there's Alex Eckelberry right there in 6th. Solid points for him, as he has a Mr.
He's right there. He's right there.
Mr. Consistency.
He's like right over at that hump where he can just get over, and he's gonna be
following along with him in the GP series. It's just consistency, and that's good to see. Let's see if we can talk to Armand first, if he does have a second. So
yeah, let's get with him before, so we know some of the calls here. Drew, can we get Armand the mic?
If he wants to come and get it.
Can you tell him? All right, looks like Michael's grabbing it. Great race. Another great race. There comes Giovanni.
Giovanni's
hugging
right
his
there.
friends that he was on DHB as well. All right, looks like we have a shot with Armand.
So any calls that are going to be considered here?
Actually, we had 2 warnings, and both went out to Joey. Actually, both passes were clean. They were on the inside. He just turned in on both of them.
Yep.
The second one, I don't think he even realized Anthony was there.
Yeah, it looked like he was
busy
waving.
discussing to you.
He was busy waving at us, but we were reviewing the replay. I told him I need at least 30 seconds to take a look, which is essentially a little over a lap. So
right. Yep.
I was still looking. And then there was a 5-second penalty for Dave on a pass on Grant, which actually is going to change the order from for 7th and 8th.
Okay. All right. Cool. Otherwise, we'll celebrate Jensen in his first win in the series.
Excellent, excellent run by him. He was very fast.
If we can maybe get the microphone to Jensen.
Absolutely. Here, let me get in for you. Jensen, you got an interview. Camera's up there.
David has commented party at the Weenie Hut Juniors tonight. I saw a weird
we still
video.
have no idea what that means.
No idea where that came
David,
from.
you're going to have to fill us in on this. So,
Jensen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Team DHB pulling it out tonight in the 1, 2, 3. You guys are still considered a team, right?
Yeah.
The 3 of you guys.
Yeah, we'll be doing the 12 hours again, so yeah.
Absolutely. Let me bring up your mic just a little bit. So we were trying to remember, you have done one other endurance race other than this one.
Yes.
Okay. And so this was your second one, pulling off the win.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your race.
It was super clean. I had, I think, 2 passes, 2 or 3, and some overtakes, and it went really smoothly. I had Nathan spotting me. That helped a ton. I couldn't have done it without him. And it was so much fun for my second endurance race. I'd love to do it again.
And
Tell
Good.
Tell us about your 24.919. You laid down, I think, 3 24-second lap times. That's like the fastest we've almost ever seen here. Pretty sure it might be the fastest we've seen.
Yeah, it was that. I had a great kart. That was probably one of the best karts I've ever had, that and 8. And I was boosting as much as I could without wasting them. And the last kart I had, it was not very good. It was pretty all over the place. The steering was not the best, and I just boosted every lap. So.
Where were you boosting out of in the first kart?
I was boosting out of the carousel. That's the only place I boosted.
Yeah.
So.
Those super quick times. It does look like Gavin did finish with 25.048 as well.
Yeah, he was
They're all
very
right
fast.
there.
He was right on me almost the whole time. So.
Did you and Gavin have any game plan coming into this? You guys
Kinda
talk to help each other out since you guys were right by each other?
Yeah, kind of just stick together, move through traffic, help each other out. And I think that really played a part in it.
And excellent pit stops today.
Thank you.
Yeah, you like the pit stop timer versus the jumping in the car you did for the 12?
Yeah, I like the pit stop timer a lot better.
Did you find that the 55 seconds was a long time, or was it pretty close?
It was pretty decent. I had some extra time that I was sitting there.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll be seeing you in the future races.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jensen.
Yep.
Great race. That was great all around.
Yeah, so like we conjectured, it was going to be coming down. They told him about the cart, so. But,
I mean, if you're running that fast of a lap time, you're going to want to stay in that kart anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, guys. If you find another video, or if one pops up on our screen, maybe like right down here, you might want to click on it. You might want to watch it. Otherwise, we'll see you in about 3 weeks. It's a little sooner than normal because Easter is coming up next month. And we hope that you guys will follow along. We hope you appreciate it. And for all the hardworking staff at K1 Speed, I'm James. Thanks, Adam, for joining, and thanks to cameraman Drew as well. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
See ya.